Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to a fancy dress party and I never ever take the time to film or get ready with me. I did film, it takes so long to do this to my hair. I did film a reel, which I'll put here for your viewing pleasure, but I didn't really want to have to film that because it takes hours. The amount of curls and then like separating them all out, it seriously is a labour of love. I hardly ever do this. It's usually just for some kind of fancy dress, but I kind of love it. Thankfully, I have this headband because I don't really know what I would have done. Oh, I might have already, I don't think I've ruined the curls, but I might have already have done something. Yeah, I think that's okay. I've kind of wrecked them if I'd done anything else. I mean, I could do some like little clips or something. Let's try these little baby clips that I got from Primark. It's going to look even crazier, isn't it? Ooh, it gets bigger and bigger. So it's not going to be apparent at all who I'm dressing as. I'm hoping that my outfit and my companion for the evening will tie it together, but we'll see. It's kind of frustrating because my favourite part of fancy dress is hair and makeup. I'm not really that bothered about the dressing up part because as with so many things, I hate having to buy something that you'll never wear again. Whereas hair and makeup, so much fun. I mean, wigs. Oh, I could just buy endless wigs and fun makeup stuff. So I was kind of disappointed because the person I'm coming as isn't really like a heavy makeup person. So I'm going to do something quite basic and then maybe just to add some sparkly accents. It's kind of undecided about my base because I want it to last a long time, but I don't want to look kind of cakey, and recently the stuff that I've used that's long wearing has not been great. So I'm going to mix together my number 7 Stay Perfect. I use the shade Calico, and I just have it in my hand. Here it is, the Glow Cherie from L'Oreal, which I've talked about a bunch. One thing I do want to mention with this is I have a friend who can't wear this. It smells amazing. It smells like watermelon, and if you guys are old enough to remember Maybelline Water Shine, that is exactly what that smells like. It's the Water Shine lipstick scent. It's so nostalgic. So I have a friend that can't wear this because it stings when she uses it, and I had one experience. Can we just take a moment for this brush, which I'll talk about in a second? Incredible. This is just, I can't believe I've gone this long without this kind of makeup brush. She can't use it because it's too sensitive for her, and then, or rather her skin is too sensitive for it. And then I had a moment last year where I'd kind of damaged my skin barrier with too many active skincare ingredients, and I had a similar experience. So if you do have sensitive skin, it obviously has something in it, whether that be like a high alcohol content, or maybe it's the fragrance, because it really does smell incredible, but it does have a really strong fragrance. It might not be for you, but I really, really like it. I'll just use it. I mean, you could use it just as like a liquid highlight, but I like it mostly as a base. This brush I've just bought from Sephora. I do have like a beauty haul coming up very soon, but I wanted to use the products in advance so that I could kind of make it a beauty haul and review. This brush is incredible. It is the Sephora Pro Foundation in 47. It's like a rounded flat brush. I kept seeing people on these contour videos with brushes that look like this, and I was like, yeah, that's really interesting. I'm gonna maybe give that a go. It was expensive. It was like 25, 30 pounds, which to me is expensive. I'm not someone who spends a lot of money on brushes, but it blends out so beautifully, and I feel like it kind of spreads the product around in a completely different way than any other brush that I've used. I really like a buffing brush, but this is so, so nice for base. Also for concealer, anything. It's just the shape of it is so nice for like under the eyes. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And really, I thought I'll give it a go for foundation, but I thought it would be mostly used for kind of contour and that kind of thing, which I do use it for as well, but it's a real multitasker. Another preview from that haul is this e.l.f. Putty bronzer. I got it in the, I think the colour is Shade, might be called Feeling Shady. And I really wasn't sure because depending on who swatches it online, it can look really quite grey. It's very taupe. But I feel like on my skin, I mean, it's still got some warmth, wouldn't you agree? It's not grey, but it's just cooler toned than the other ones. And I am really happy with this on my skin tone. This is almost exactly that. I mean, look at that already. It's pretty much exactly the shade that I've been looking for. And the formula is so easy to blend. Like I said, I've been watching quite a few contour videos recently, and they all say now, on the cheekbone and blend up rather than down, because you want this part to be brighter in order to really contrast that bronzer or blush or contour, whatever it is that you're trying to apply here. You want it to kind of be here up the darker shade, and then also to concentrate a little bit more darkness right there in the hollow. This is the bit that I feel like I can have the most fun with, because this character or this actress has incredible cheekbones, and it's kind of a staple of the character. She says that her whole face hangs off these cheekbones. Really can't emphasize how easy, I haven't blended this yet, how easy this Putty bronzer is to use. And I think because of the shade, it is, it's like you can kind of add a little bit, and you never feel like it's getting too much. But if you are relatively fair like me, I think it is the perfect mix. It's still got some warmth, so it's not going to look too grey, but it is definitely less orangey, less bronzery, and more of a natural contour. Also, underneath the jaw rather than on the jaw. Another thing I love about this brush is because it's got that kind of weird shape to it, is I can use the more tapered bit and go down my nose a little bit, which I am trying to get in some practice doing because it does not come naturally to me. I feel like my nose has got such a curve compared to some people's. Some people have just got like wide noses and they just want to slim them a little bit. Mine, the actual shape of it, I feel is really difficult to contour, because I'm just contouring it like slimmer in the middle and then bigger, and that's not what I want. If I'm gonna do anything about the shape, it's definitely not to make the tip larger. If anything, I feel like trying to contour has given me like a weird complex about my nose when I really was fine with my nose before. Does anybody else feel this way? Trying to do weird makeup trends, that it actually kind of makes you feel like, oh, I didn't even know that that was a thing I was supposed to be changing about myself. A little bit of liquid blush. This is the Cool Glow Cheek Tint from Elizabeth Arden in Pink Perfection. I've had this forever. I have absolutely no idea if they still make it. It's a really unusual one. It's got like kind of like a mesh between the product in the bottom and where you actually get it out of. It's a strange one, but one that I used to really enjoy. And in the spirit of shopping my stash and using what I have, I'm trying to do exactly that. I don't want to go too heavy, and I'm struggling a little bit recently with, especially like around my eyes and stuff, things looking a little bit cakey. So I'm going to use this Arborian CCI, because the times that I've used this, I have lost my, there it is. The times that I've used this, I felt like it's really quite light, but look how brightening it is. But it gives a real pow of brightness with a very small amount of product. So I'm going to kind of use this in the areas that I want to, you know when you see the contour people and they're like, oh, up here and there. If I use that amount of product, it's so heavy. And as I said in a recent video, although it's all kind of fun to play around with that, when you're actually going to be seeing people and you want your makeup to look nice, you do want it to look as flattering and natural as possible. And so I'm kind of trying to achieve that bright triangles, right down here, right down the centre of my nose, but without the heavy concealer look. And I think that I'm going to be able to do that with these. So we're going to do that here. I think this brush is from Primark. You know, I pulled it out earlier and I thought, I really like that one. I can't remember buying it. I think it's actually from Primark. See, look at that. It's just, it kind of blends into the skin like it's nothing, but it still helps to brighten. I think I could probably stand to do that a little bit higher up. It's almost like now you want the bright line where we used to do the contour, which kind of makes sense because it lifts everything, doesn't it? And then the last area I think I'm going to do is down my nose, which I've also been playing around with this, and I don't feel like I can get away with like a shimmery highlight. Again, fun to play with, but in like real makeup like that I'm going to wear in life, I don't feel like here I can get away with a kind of shimmery look. It's just kind of too much. A little bit of leftover product, so I'm just going to put that on my lids before I do some primer and some shadow. Again, I don't think I'm going to do very much because she really doesn't wear a lot of anything eye makeup wise, or anything, just anywhere. Again, really boring. I think I'm going to have to find a picture of her wearing something fun on the lip though, because otherwise I'm just going to look like no makeup. NYX eyeshadow primer, the HD one in the black tube, still my favourite. It used to be in a white tube with a black lid. Now it is in an all black tube. That is still my definite favourite for like really no budge makeup. And of course my Too Faced Natural Eyes, which I stand by it. I said it, I meant it. This could be the only eyeshadow that I need in my entire life. Like, there's one thing to need and there's another thing to want, but I only really need this. I'm going to go in with that super pale, what is it called? Heaven. I'm going to do this everywhere. It's a very 90s makeup look. I'm also going to use that pale colour to kind of set my contour, or rather not my contour, my highlight. The bits that I wanted to be like super pale. Because I have to have some kind of depth of something in my eyes, I'm going to use this shade down here, which is Strip Poker, and just do a really simple, I mean, for use of no better word, I realise this is an overused word now in this video, but contoured crease. That's kind of what I'm going for, just super natural eyes, but I do need a little bit of dimension. Also, I must do my brows while I remember. I'm using this Sephora, what is it called? Retractable brow pencil. Ooh, it's waterproof. In Nutmeg Brown. So I decided to go kind of 90s brow, which means I need to slightly get rid of the little bit of brow that I have above the brows that I've just put on. Do you remember skinny eyebrows? Why did we ever do this? I need a little bit of something for eyeliner, but nothing crazy. I'm going to use this mixing liquid. I bought this years ago to use with glitters. Ta-da! It's barely been used. I'm going to dip my brush in, which I'm sure is incredibly unhygienic, but it's only for my face, so who cares? And I'm going to use this with this Colourpop Roulette eyeshadow, which is just kind of a black, it's just a matte black. And another incredibly super professional thing I'm going to do, I've just got this little bit of cardboard, and I'm going to put it, I'm really into like the straight liner at the moment, but I keep screwing it up. So that's my dog. That's Money. Lee's just taken him for a walk. And there's certain dogs that he does not approve of walking past our house. It's just a thing. Yeah, I'm going to use this as like a guide. Even then, it was it's just my eye, clearly. It's got nothing to do with, also that's not really straight. It's got nothing to do with me not being able to keep a straight line. My eye is just not straight. I just want a little bit of something to extend a little bit, but I've already gone too far, to be fair. might already have ruined it. Eyeliner is a stressful game. Really not sure what order in which to do these things, but hey. Right, I'm going to use this Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder because I feel like I'm just learning makeup all over again recently, but I saw something about using a pressed powder to set, like a small amount of pressed powder to set everywhere that you want to set before you bake, because this will mean that it's not as cakey. So kind of press on a thinner amount of powder first, which seems counterintuitive. Use more powder to look less cakey, but here we are. I'm testing it for you right now. I mean, to be fair, this whole thing feels pretty 80s / early 90s. I'm sure this is what my mum did back in the day. Now I'm going to take this fancy Hourglass Veil, which by the way is astronomical. This was sent to me. I've been using this, and I've been using the Lacura from Aldi. I honestly can't tell you that there's very much of a difference. I don't know. At one point, I'm going to have to, while I've still got this left, do like a half and half of my face, I think, because I really can't see a big difference. And I don't know whether or not that's because I don't want there to be a difference, or if there really isn't one. So maybe that can be a video. I've got quite a few things that I'd like to test out kind of head to head. That are really expensive, that I would tend to say I would never purchase this because it's so expensive. But there are certain things that are nice to have for special occasions. Like, for example, today I'm going to see a lot of people. I would like my makeup to look as nice as it can look. This is a time where maybe I would pull out something that you knew was going to look absolutely fantastic. But is it really any different? That is the thing. As I always say, it's nice to have, there are certain products that it's just kind of like nice to have a luxurious version of. I was telling my daughter yesterday, I'm really into, like, I don't mind spending, say, 30, even £40 on a blush if I was really excited about it, because it feels like something you keep forever. Case in point, I haven't used this in ages, and I pulled this out this week, a Chanel blush. I've had this for like probably 6 years. I still love it. I've got a Burberry one. I don't even know if Burberry make makeup anymore, but this was a really, really nice one. I used it loads. I've still got it. I will still use it. Probably in decades' time, I'll probably still use this. They just feel like kind of collectible things. Whereas like foundations, even lipsticks to a degree, unfortunately, it feels like there's such a small shelf life. It's kind of counterintuitive, because some people would want to spend the money on something that they're going to use every single day, whereas I feel like I want to spend the money on something that I'm going to have forever. It's getting a bit dark. I think by the time I've finished, it'll be like pitch black. So I'm trying to pull out something to, ooh, this could work, trying to find something to wear on my lips while that is baking. This could work. This is the Hydraluminous Lip Balm from No. 7. I really, really like that one. I'm looking for something kind of neutral. She doesn't wear much on the lips, but I'm going to have to do something. But just to kind of stay in character, it would be crazy to do something really bold. Looking for a lip liner now. Lip liners are like my kryptonite. Perfect example. Lip liners you have forever. I would rather have a million lip liners and one foundation, because fun. Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk had to be. And then I'm going to top it with, I think I'm going to wait until I've dusted all of this off, which probably should be round about now. Not that I think that there's all that much left to dust away, to be fair. But we shall dust. I'm not going to do any highlight because it doesn't feel in keeping. Feels weird not to, but I'm not going to. And now, finally, mascara again, before I forget, where I have put my lash curlers everywhere is such a mess. I can't, I'm constantly cleaning up. Lee despairs. I'll say to him, I'm just going to go and clean up the office. And he goes, you literally just cleaned up the office. I don't know what to tell you. I moved myself into this room rather than the other. and it is a smaller space with all the stuff I've put in it, but still it is insane. I kind of thought to myself, wow, it's really getting dark. It might be easier to keep tidy. Like my mum said when I was young, smaller room, smaller space to keep tidy. No, it just gets messier quicker. This, by the way, the lash curlers are Tweezerman, and I love them. And this is the Lash Idole. The Lash Idole from Lancome, which I really like. This, again, was sent to me, and it's not, did you hear Lee sneezing? Such a drama queen. Not one I would ever have picked out, not something that I am excited to purchase. Mascara is something that historically, it's been Lash Sensational all the way, and then I kind of got annoyed that they discontinued my favourite Lash Sensational eye primer. I know there is another one. I know they've done a skyscraper. I just haven't managed to find it in stock anywhere. So I haven't actually purchased it yet, but I will. I promise I'll do a review as and when. And I still have some of the other, so I'll do a comparison for you. But that's by the by. When they sent me this, I thought, I can't even think of a time that I have tried and enjoyed an expensive mascara. Often I'll give them a go and then I hand them off to Ella, my daughter, who usually likes them. She likes different things in mascaras than I do. But this one I really, really like, and it's lasted ages. I think I got it in like October, November, and I use it tons, and obviously it's been open since then. I would be tempted to repurchase it, which is kind of a surprise to me more than anyone else. Pulling out the old faithful, haven't used this in ages, it's the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Always, just as a PSA, always spritz it separately before you put it on your face, because I've had so many times that I've spritzed a setting spray and it's just like squirted on my face and ruined my whole makeup. Oh! And now everything sinks together and looks beautiful. Finally, oh, this goes absolutely amazingly with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but it's still neutral, not too crazy. She says with this insane hair, I actually have no idea what the base of my costume is going to be, and I've got to be like ready in 15 minutes. But I'll show you it in a second. And of course, I was running late and I just never ended up filming any specific clips. So I will put some stuff on the screen right now to show you how the whole outfit turned out. I was attempting to be Eddie from Ab Fab, and Ella accompanied me as Safi. It was a really, really fun time. Anyway, I thought I would share with you how this hairstyle lasted. This is 3 days. Because my hair is so fine and tangly, I can really only leave this in for a few days. If I left it any longer, it would just be one matted dreadlock situation. So I thought I would share with you what I do when I have to detangle this. Before I get in the bath or the shower, I will section my hair up, and then I'm going to use some coconut oil, and I'm just going to kind of put this all through the entirety of my hair, not even like just the lengths. I'm going to just everywhere, leave it in for a little while, and then wash. And just like that, I am glossy and detangled again. Oil solves all of the problems. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this very disjointed video. This is just kind of how I'm going to do stuff moving forward. I've got oil on my hands. I'm just going to kind of go with it. Wherever it takes me, decide to pick up the camera and talk. And sometimes that's going to take me 3 days to film. Like this one. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions about anything that I use, let me know. I will try to remember to link everything below, because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I list it and link it in a separate thing, and then I don't put it in the video. Please remind me if you are looking for a link or for any information. And otherwise, of course, remember I have a vlog channel. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok these days. We'll see how that goes. But if you want to follow me in other places, you can. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.